Good evening and welcome to the Streamin Garage and the world premiere of Husbands the Series. My name is Brian Rodda. You can follow me on Twitter at @BrianRodda. And I am pleased and honored to be here tonight with the stars and creator of Husbands the Series. Allow me to introduce Miss Jane Espenson, Cheeks, and Sean Hemeon.
I'm Jane Espenson. You know me from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel and Firefly and Dollhouse and Game of Thrones and Torchwood and now and many other things, and Once Upon a Time, which is fantastic, and now Husbands. And I'm one of the two creators, and the other creator is sitting right here, Mr. Cheeks.
Fantastic.
Yep. I'm Cheeks. You know me from my wild antics on the internet and in tabloids, and now Husbands. So.
Yay! And I'm Sean Hemeon, and I was pulled from the soap world to be part of Husbands and to be here with my husband and True Blood, Criminal Minds, yada yada.
They're not really husbands.
No.
They play them on TV. Well, they play them on the internet.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Well, just to give you guys an idea of what's going to happen tonight, we're going to go through a few questions right now. I'm going to ask Jane, Cheeks, and Sean a few things. We're going to actually launch the episode a little bit later on, and then after that, we'll open it up to Skype, Twitter, and what have you to take all of your questions from out there. So stay tuned and enjoy the ride. So, Jane, let's get started. Why the web? Why this? Why now?
Oh, those are three totally different questions. Why this? Because the show deserves to happen, and it felt like the right time for it to happen. And if you go through more standard channels, it takes a long time, and you have to answer to a lot of masters. And it just seemed like we could do it now, do the project exactly how we wanted it. This was something that Cheeks and I came up with together. Actually started with an idea that Cheeks had, and we figured, let's do it. That's the why now, and the why the web. And the why this? It wasn't three different questions. It's all one question.
Ooh, nicely done.
Cheeks, for you, why this? Why this concept? Why put it on the web, and why 2011?
Well, I think it's time. I mean, the question is really like, why not? Why hasn't it already, you know? Considering that, we can't get married in this state, the gay community, and I've encountered a lot of different people that have said, thank you, I've been waiting for something like this for a long time. So I think that the idea is ripe, and that it's out there, and that it exists, and I think that anything that comes along that's good is always something that resonates with people, because it was an idea that already existed, and you just tap into it, Yeah,
it's an idea that's both classic and new.
Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. So this isn't the first time that a television writer has paired up with a YouTube sensation. Do we see this being a trend in Hollywood?
I would like to think so. I think that more and more TV writers are sort of saying, gee, that looks fun, relatively inexpensive, and you get a huge amount of control. There's a lot to be said for when you have the right kind of project, for stepping away from the big stage for a minute and going like, I need this thing to be quicker, smaller, more responsive, more exactly what I want it to be, and doing it that way. You look at Dr. Horrible that Joss did, and you sort of go like, there's a reason he did it that way, and there's a reason we did it this way. And yeah, I would love to see more TV writers trying this, because I actually found it, not just that I got the product out there that I wanted to, but I really learned something. I really gained a respect for the process of creation and how it continues into the production process that I'd never had before. And I think lots and lots of writers would find this fascinating and illuminating.
So was Joss a little bit of your inspiration? Did you take some of the work that he had done? Did you take what you'd learned from what he did with Dr. Horrible and said, hey, I could do that?
Absolutely. I think if Joss hadn't done it, I wouldn't have done this. And maybe I'm paying it forward. Maybe someone else will see me doing this and they'll want to do something like this.
Wonderful. For all those out there who don't know, she's referring to Joss Whedon, who's a very famous television writer and the creator of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, who she worked with several years ago on that show. And so how did you and Cheeks get together?
You want to
Initially, you know, because he would be if you're the TV writer, he's the YouTube sensation.
Twitter. Twitter's where it's at. That's how we met initially, and just started hanging out and emailing and going to lunch, and yeah, just became friends.
I saw comedy videos that Cheeks had done and put online. The first one that I remember seeing that made me go like, I want to meet this guy, was you actually talking about marriage equality, and I thought it was just so well done and so funny and so just perfect. And I was like, okay, I want to meet this guy. So yeah, Twitter and lunches. Yeah. Twitter plus lunch, America.
Is there any other way to reach a YouTube sensation? I mean, or just an internet sensation? I mean, it just seems right to go through Twitter and make it happen that way.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I put myself on YouTube to begin with, is I knew that I thought opportunity will come from this, and much, much more than that has come from it in many different ways.
It's fantastic. It's a new world out there.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of thought in the internet in the last couple of years about super serving a niche community in the sort of LA web series bubble and the New York web series bubble in Austin and other sort of hot pockets out there. Things that hot pockets. Things that work really well on the web seem to be very specifically targeted towards a very specific audience. Do you guys think that this will have a greater impact other than the LGBT audience out there?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
It already does.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's a romantic comedy. Women are going to love it. Girls are going to love it. It's totally accessible. It's balls out funny, if I may say. And I don't see why anyone wouldn't want to see this. And I think the audience is ready for it. The audience that watches Glee and Modern Family is ready for the show. Why wouldn't you want to watch it?
Yeah, the fact that they're gay really has nothing to do with it. The fact that they play celebrity, or that we play celebrities in the show, has nothing to do with it. I mean, it's really at the heart, just two human beings trying to figure out how to be married, newlyweds, and all that other stuff is just on the side.
Yeah, and I think those themes are completely universal. I don't think it's niche at all. I mean, they happen to be gay, and that's not what the story's about.
Right. I mean, it's nice to have a platform to say, hey, we're setting this in a world in which there is marriage equality, i.e. we're setting this in a world that makes sense. And then after you get over that, then it's mad about you, only we get to tell some stories they would tell, some stories that are unique to our situation.
It's 2011. It's kind of like we're saying gay marriage is so early to, 2000, 2010. It's like, all right, we're in the next decade. Get over it. Moving on.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, so Sean Hemeon, how did you come to the project? I know how these two started, because Cheeks, as well as being one of the stars of the show, is also one of the creators and executive producers. And so how did you get involved?
I was the wonderful unknown. I was who are we going to find to play this part? Because the other actress, Alessandra, she plays Haley, and there's great videos with these two together working off each other online.
He's referring to the fabulous Alessandra Torresani of Caprica fame, who couldn't. Ow! Yes, give her some love.
The first Cylon. Okay.
But yeah, we had Alessandra. We didn't have our Brady. We didn't have our other husband. So we had to find Sean.
So there was a bit of a search. There was the search for Brady Kelly.
Yeah.
And how long did that search last?
Oh my God, weeks and weeks and weeks.
Well, and it felt so long, and I felt like, oh God, I'm just so tired of this, and dealing with actors and watching reels is just like, ugh. But then I talked to my friend who's a casting director, and I said, it's so arduous, and I'm exhausted. And he said, I know how you feel. I spent a year casting Super 8. And I was like, oh, a year, huh? Okay. So I guess, relatively speaking, it wasn't that intensive, but it sure felt like it.
The scale of our production, that was a big chunk of time, because we were getting closer and closer and closer. We had a line producer. We were setting up things like talking about locations and who we were going to hire for all the different jobs, and we had like everybody hired except one of our main roles.
Right.
And we're very, very happy when we found Sean.
I was the last guy they auditioned. On an off chance audition as well. I mean, they were set on this other gentleman who apparently was really good.
He was fantastic.
Wonderful.
But then you walked in, and we were very, very impressed.
So
Yeah, no, of course you were the last one we auditioned. As soon as we auditioned you, we were like, oh, we're done. So,
Well, and here we are. It's fantastic. Well, I can see why, because the chemistry between you two is so natural, and it makes sense. And let's talk a little more about these characters. I think are really interesting. Cheeks' character is named Cheeks. which is little play on meta on meta, perhaps.
Yeah, it was my statement about meta and how our culture is eating itself.
Oh, was it? You just wanted to dig in.
But if anyone asks, that's what it was.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. And Brady Kelly. I mean, where did this sort of all-American name?
Well, yes, Cheeks has a story.
Well, Brady Kelly is Brad Bell. If you look at it, it's Brad with a Y and then Bell with a KY. And the happy coincidence of giving KY to a gay man was, I couldn't resist. I was so thrilled with that. So yeah,
Did you say that both these characters are aspects of you?
Yes, which is why, that's how because I'd always written for myself and I'd never written really for another character, and I thought, well, how am I going to write two such different voices? And I think Brady Kelly is a voice in my own head, you know. I'm not completely, you know, Cheeks is a version of me. So he's the version that's more subversive and doesn't care what anyone thinks, and there is more of a conservative side to me that, you know, I don't always want to go out and wear platform heels, and, you know, I'd rather stay home and make dinner and watch Martha Stewart. I love Martha Stewart. And craft and things like that. So I just sort of pulled from that and then amplified that and turned that into Brady Kelly.
How do you feel, Sean, about being an aspect of Cheeks?
There is an aspect of me that wants more freedom to express, you know, my sexuality or my wild side, if you know, just not being so trapped in the idea of putting forth that image, which is what I relate towards Brady. I mean, that's what Brady is, the all-American, and protecting that in any way that he can is what he does. And so having the greatest experience was when I was cast, and then 2 weeks later we're doing Comic-Con, and Cheeks, you know, dressed in a veil and just wore just this jeggings. Is that what they're called?
Well, scandal pants is what my audience would know them better as.
So, and you would
can
think,
imagine what they look like if you don't know what scandal
and
pants
we both
are.
wore bow ties, and I had the the jersey on, and it was interesting to me because we walked arm in arm, and you'd think Comic-Con, we're amongst fellow peeps who could, you know, understand
Everyone's in costume.
outsiders and that
we're
kind
like
of stuff.
standing next to Darth Vader.
However, we got so many looks, actually mostly from the staff of the place. But what was interesting to me is that what it touched in me, how uncomfortable I felt at first. And that was that place that I admire in Cheeks, that he can so easily go in and out of and just be free, be himself, be in that. And for me, it still preys upon just that old idea of trying to be straight or trying to be something that I'm clearly not, you know. It was a wonderful weekend to promote it and just to give it attention. And
Well, I have seen a couple images from Comic-Con, and what a juxtaposition, you in the baseball uniform and you with a veil on and your jeggings.
Scandal pants.
sorry, scandal pants.
Which is trademarked.
So, and so I can understand why people would, you know, be, you know, drawn to you or not drawn to you, perhaps. Were there any baseball people at Comic-Con? Were there any baseball fans? I mean, was there any sort of, no? I mean, because it's a bunch of, it's pretty intensely, like, it's for a lot of fanboys, right, who get excited, and I mean, it's a huge comic convention, so there's not too many sporto types there.
But it is a very, Comic-Con is a surprisingly mixed crowd of male and female. I think people think of it as sort of comic book geek boys, and it's really not. It's really much more broadly applied pop culture. A lot more girls there than people are aware of, and I think they were very welcoming to you guys. Very excited to see you coming over to take your picture.
Yeah, well, and that was the thing, is that when we were standing apart, we didn't get that much attention individually. And it was when we coupled up and actually acted like a couple that, I mean, yeah, it was like you could see people looking at us from across the room, and people wanting to take our picture and giving us the thumbs up and cheering for us, and like people were extremely supportive and happy to see us and laughing, and there was very, very, very little, I mean, a handful of people that, you know, were kind of put off by it.
They startled a bit, but very welcoming, and we sort of had the same reaction. We have one shot in the piece, in the finished product, where we actually went to LA Live to shoot a thing made to look like we were shooting on the Vegas Strip. So we were out in public with these guys dressed in like just little shorts and just looking cute as hell, but clearly playing it as like just married. And there were fans that were like Japanese girls.
There were Japanese tourists that didn't speak any English that wanted to take our picture. There were people eating, like whole groups of people, you know, on the patio of the restaurants, and they were cheering for us. And I mean, it was incredibly supportive. Just perfect strangers going out of their way to get our attention and let us know that they thought it was great, because they must have thought we were really getting married, of course.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
But I mean, even half naked with a bridal veil on, people were like, yeah!
So let's talk a little bit more about the technical aspects of making the show. Most people know that the show was independently produced by you, and a lot of creatives in Los Angeles, up and coming YouTubers perhaps, and other creatives in LA and outside of LA, New York and other places around the country, are creating their own content. What was this like for you? I mean, in terms of putting everything together and financing the whole thing, and I mean, do you hope to have a major return on in your investment? Is this word on the street? Is this also a backdoor pilot?
Yeah, this is not something that we're just putting it up online. It's free. Go look at it. And, you know, click and comment and like and do all those things that one does with a video. But you don't have to pay for it, because this is just something where I was like, this is worth investing in this because it needs to exist. And because, yeah, maybe some entity with money will look at it and say, there should be more of this, and here's some money to make more of it. But we did it sort of toward the high end of what someone might normally spend on this. I mean, not as much as Dr. Horrible, but somebody could make a web series for a lot less than we did. So people should not feel intimidated by this process. This is something people can go out and do.
Wonderful.
But yeah, definitely, it would be great if somebody saw this and said, that's a show. Because it's a show. You look at it, you can tell it's a show.
So there are 11 episodes, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay.
11 tiny episodes.
11 tiny episodes. What's the average length of each episode?
About 2 minutes.
About 2 minutes, I'd say. I come in a little under, a little over.
Okay, fantastic. Mm-hmm. And after the 11 episodes air, is that the, you know, season finale, or is that the series finale? What will happen next?
Or is it the episode finale? Because these all cut together to make a 22-minute pilot. Okay. So it's both the end of the episode and the end of the season. Is it the end of the series? Stay tuned. Cliffhanger.
Yes,
yeah,
indeed. All right, well, I think it's about time. We are getting ready to go live for the world premiere of Husbands, the series. Brace yourselves, coming to you now. Enjoy the world premiere of Husbands, the series.
Oh my God.
We kept our wedding secret because, you know...
Famous athlete.
Famous actor.
Famous actress. Not relevant. But I didn't even know it. I'm his best friend. The people saying that we just went to Vegas and did this on impulse.
Saying we were drunk?
They just don't know us very well. Brady? 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 Brady!
I'm right here, Cheeks.
I need you. I don't know where I am. It's so dark.
I can't see you anywhere.
I woke up in some random place. I mean, more random than usual. Brady!
Jeez.
I'm in a tub.
Oh, I look like someone who's had work done to look like me. Oh, we should clean up. Grab Haley, head back to LA.
Yeah, I have an early call time at Miserable Rich Kids. Do you have batting rehearsal?
No, we call it practice. And yes, I guess the celebration's over.
Marriage equality at last? Party never ends, baby. Ow! Oh, I'm going back to bed.
Oh no, we have to pack.
What? You got married! It was Toad's plan. For reals.
Amazing!
Episode 1. Oh, we need to say when episode 2 goes up. We'll say it again at the end, but episode 2 goes up just in 2 days. You get to see one again on Thursday.
Yes. Yeah. It'll be up on Thursday. Yeah. The day after tomorrow. The 15th.
Wait, what time? What time?
10-ish.
10-ish.
What in the morning.
What day?
Thursday. Mid-morning. Look for it in the morning.
2 days.
If you're in the Pacific time zone.
If you're in the Pacific time zone.
But episode 1 is up now, and we'll always stay there. Always be there.
Yeah. A lot of people were asking me, like, I can't watch it when it's premiering on live streaming Garage, but can I watch it later? And yes, you can. It'll just be sitting there.
Exactly.
Good to go.
I'm sure all the lovely folks here at Streamin Garage will tweet out the recorded version of this, so you'll be able to catch it through their tweets, as well as at Team Husbands, which is our official Twitter for all things related to Husbands, the series. Before we open it up out there to Twitter, Skype, and the rest of the internet, I have 1 or 2 more questions here for the creators and stars of the show. Let's talk about guest stars. Now, there's 2, which another really fun thing about the show is that you have a really great television guest star and also a really great YouTube guest star, which I think is such a beautiful marriage of what this show encapsulates and how these 2 worlds are really coming together. And who might those 2 famous people be who we will see in the series?
Well, your point is exactly right. That's exactly what we set out to do. We want 1 internet star, 1 standard TV star. So tell us who the internet star is, Cheeks.
Well, the internet star is Michael Buckley, who does What the Buck on YouTube. Woohoo!
We're going to tweet him out right
he's
now.
Fantastic.
Yes.
At Buck Hollywood.
At Buck Hollywood. And we also have Nathan Fillion.
Yeah!
From television's Firefly and Castle, and also in Dr. Horrible.
Yeah.
So we are marrying them together, and especially the way they appear together, which I won't say anything more about that, but the way that they interact.
I think you just gave a little bit more away. They appear together.
They appear.
Oh. I'm sure Buck Hollywood was very excited about that. I know I would be.
And it's
Together's
scandalous.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's scandalous.
It is.
Very
It's true.
scandalous.
It is true.
Fantastic.
Oh my God, are you still buzzy from seeing it?
Fantastic. Well, we're going to open up some questions now. Thank you so much for all of your comments and for showing us love and support out there on the internet via all of our wonderful social media outlets. And let's see, you can send us questions on Twitter, in the Ustream chat room, and on Skype. Those are the 3 places right now. If you're on any of those, Twitter, in the Ustream chat room, or on Skype as well, where you can send questions.
What's the Skype name?
The Skype name is Streamin Garage. Thank you. Skype is just Streamin Garage. Just Streamin Garage. Yep. So that's StreaminGarage. My mother was an English teacher. Okay. Out of all, so our first question is from Adam's Outlaws, and one of our most fervent Twitter followers. Good to see you out here tonight. Of all the cast members, who would probably die first in a scary movie? That's the question from Adam's Outlaws.
Well, Alessandra would die first.
I
Be
didn't
the
know
hottest.
Alessandra.
Yeah.
Then, well, there's only 3 of us, so it would have to be something like she'd die up front really quickly, and I'm a horror buff, so let me tell you. She'd die up front really quickly, and then you and I would probably be trapped in some central location, kind of like the strangers, trying to help each other, and then
I'd let you survive. I'd go sacrifice
I would know
myself.
how to survive.
What I'd tell myself you would need
Yeah,
me to
and then the
go
audience
rescue,
would love you because you'd do something.
Bo would survive.
Oh yeah, maybe he would. There's
Yeah,
never been a
Bo-
dog protagonist in a horror movie, I don't think.
Yeah.
That's innovative.
Or he
rooting
saves
for
the
him,
day at
too,
the
Joe.
last
Who is
moment.
Bo? Who is Bo?
Bo's
Glad
my
you
dog,
asked.
and he plays Jack in the show.
Okay,
So
So there's actually 4 cast members.
okay, there's 4.
There's a
Okay.
famous dog in the show.
So I understand there's also another cast member named Rachel?
Yes, Rachel.
Who's Rachel?
Rachel was a beautiful, well, hideous giraffe, so little ceramic giraffe. Or no, zebra.
Zebra.
One-eared zebra.
An ugly little ceramic one-eared zebra that was supplied by our lovely production designer, Greg Aronowitz, and it was sitting in the set we used for the hotel room
In Vegas.
in Vegas. We see these guys steal
Oh,
it.
you'll see.
You'll see.
Just-
Anyway,
you'll see what
Maybe where's
happens
Waldo
to
moment.
Rachel.
Just
Yeah,
look for it in the episodes.
keep your eyes out
we
for-
have Rebecca. We have Rachel hidden throughout the episode.
yeah, keep your eye out for
Which
Rachel the
episode
zebra.
will Rachel appear in? I love it.
Rachel
The one-eared
appears
zebra.
first
First in
in
4.
I wanted to keep her.
episode 4.
And then makes a return.
Yeah, so yeah, that's like
what you
an
gotta
Easter
watch
egg.
out
Can
for.
you spot Rachel again?
Okay, good to know, good to know. We'll go back to another question from the interwebs. Technicolor Nina in the Ustream chat room asks, I know the purpose of this show is to point out that marriage is marriage, but do Jane and Cheeks, and Sean, if he has thoughts on it, feel like they're showing a different angle of marriage? Good question.
Yeah, well, like I said, you know, they will have some storylines. If the show continues, they'd have some storylines that you could do on any episode of Mad About You, and some that would be unique to them. So I think it is a different angle.
I absolutely think it is because, again, Brady comes from the very traditional, like, I'm the man, you're the wife, and trying to shove Cheeks, his new husband, into kind of the feminine role. Now, what's great about this show is it's definitely called out at one point that marriage equality at large means equality within the relationship as well. There is no female-male roles. It's just equal across the board. And that for me was, I mean, personally, was kind of like, yes, that is, here. I cheer that on. So it's definitely a different angle with marriage equality all around.
Yeah. Well, I think marriages are like snowflakes, you know, and each one is different.
Kind of cold and icy.
Frigid. They have to be taken care of very specifically or they die. No, I think that any two people in any relationship is always something unique and different. And I think that it's also when you take two people that have no idea or no intention to be married, you know, or how to be married, that, yeah, you'll absolutely get a different take than two people who have been planning it and wanted it and thought about it and have this vision of what it should be. So.
Yeah, more than, yeah. It's not just that they got married unexpectedly quickly, but this was not ever something they projected into their own futures.
Right.
It's
Right.
like, someday I'll be married.
And that's life. I mean,
Yeah.
life is in the dirty, gritty. I mean, that's where life is, down there.
Yeah. Husbands, it goes
Yeah.
there.
Roll up your sleeves when you're coming on.
Yeah.
It's not that gritty.
There seems to be a little bit of an echo. I mean, I'm sure I'm not the first to compare it to perhaps a little bit of Will and Grace-esque, especially with the Haley character and the interactions with Cheeks and such. How is this different than sort of the comedy that we've seen, say, from a show like Will and Grace?
It's a romantic comedy. And Will and Grace, the romantic comedy was sort of in quotes, and it was between Will and Grace. Here, this is a genuine romantic comedy, but it has some of that tone, but it really has moved on in a way that a lot of shows have not. Our show has moved on to make the romance where the romance would be.
Well, and I think also, you know, Will and Grace has that 90s sensibility of snarky cynicism, you know, the great fantastic one-liners back and forth that Jack and Karen, and, you know, they were always, they cared about each other, but they were always mean to each other. And I think that is different here, is that Brady and Cheeks are very much in love, and they're very supportive of each other. And even the tension between Brady and Haley over who gets more attention from Cheeks manifests more as grabbing onto Cheeks rather than attacking the other person. There's not a sense of meanness or attack. Everybody's very supportive and agrees with one another and wants the other person to succeed. So I think that it's very different in that way.
Lovely. We have a video Skype call coming in.
My goodness.
Let's see what they have to say.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi!
Hi.
I met you guys at Comic Con. You were so nice. Still have like my little side invite. Okay, I'm sorry, like my stream
Can you turn your Ustream off or turn the volume down?
Okay, wait.
Don't turn it off, then you'll go away.
I got it. Hi.
Okay.
She's on Skype.
Okay, there we go.
Great pilot. And I was wondering, what was your craziest on-set moment?
Craziest on-set moment.
Thank you so much.
Oh, the cats?
Probably the cat.
Oh, yeah.
There was a little problem. We were filming in a house, and the people who owned the house had very considerately put the cats in the bathroom so that the cats wouldn't be like running through the shot. But the cats weren't entirely happy there, so there was a lot of aggressive sound making. Yes.
And we were also in the same, we were near Burbank Airport, so we had a lot of airplanes landing. So in between takes, or in between lines, you'd have a cat meow, we'd say the line, and then we'd have an airplane say the line, and there'd be cat meow, and then there'd be over like this.
So there was a lot of holding.
Yeah.
You know, we'd just stay in the moment and wait for the sound to go away. And then we'd pick it back up.
Our amazing director at one point, Jeff Greenstein, who directed it, is fantastic. At one point said, "Okay, that one was actually a cat flying a plane." So that was bad. But there was also there was a lot of craziness.
Well, LA Live. I mean, we already touched that, but that was that was guerrilla filming because we had to outsmart the security guards, and they were trying to hunt us down with their red jackets and their bikes. And
yes, they're intimidating bicycles and red jackets.
Well, they made a wall of bikes to you can't film here, you can't film here. And
yeah, we got scared because we were like, what if? We don't know exactly what happens if you're not allowed to film in a place and you're filming. Like maybe they just come over and say, "Here's a $10,000 fine." Like that would be bad.
Yeah, I was worried about the fine.
Yeah,
because I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to have to be responsible for.
There was seriously a point where I was thinking what if they throw us all in jail? But that may have just been me getting hysterical.
So, speaking of fines,
thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So speaking of fines, I understand there was a lost suit that happened somewhere in this lovely shooting experience.
This was new information today. Every day it's something new and exciting at Husbands, which is that Sean wore his actual suit as Brady's suit for the filming, and we just learned today that the Fox costume department, or a costume department of a major studio, has apparently eaten the suit, and the suit has disappeared into the library of suits and cannot be found. So, Husbands, the series, is going to buy Sean a new suit.
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
I'll take suggestions, I guess. You can Twitter out good suits.
You can, and speaking of Twitter, you can follow Sean on Twitter at Sean Hemeon.
SEANHEM as in Mary, EON as in Nancy.
You can follow Cheeks at Go Cheeks Go.
Spelled just like it sounds.
And you can follow Jane at Jane Espenson, ESPENSON. And the other two members of the cast and the production team would be Jeff Greenstein. You can follow him on Twitter at Blue439, and Alessandra Torresani, who plays the lovely Haley in the show. You can on Twitter at Bambola Bambina. I think she's Italian. What do you think? You tell me. Let's go back to Twitter. Glitter in My Soul on Twitter asks, what's the weirdest fan confrontation you've had? Ooh, getting a little dark here now.
I suspect Cheeks has had weirder fan confrontations than...
Confrontation? I don't...
Interaction.
I don't think about them long enough to remember them.
You think about your fans all the time. You mean you don't think?
No, I don't think about the bad confrontations. Right. Thank you. You with the linguistics, I apparently say ambiguous statements all the time.
Make sure that you understand.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want that because then I would have a bad fan confrontation. You said you never think about it. No, I don't. I mean, sure, there's stuff all the time where I'm like, really, and then it's gone. So, the weirdest fan confrontation, I don't.
Well,
I really don't have an answer for that.
There's just snarky remarks on Twitter sometimes, but
yeah.
That's some of those things that's just like, really?
Yeah,
but that's just part of it.
In general, I'll say something satirical. Like I was talking about the debates yesterday, and I said something like about senior health care and Medicare and all of that. I said, oh, they've lived this long. They can do it fine. Let's get rid of Medicare and go get new hats. And people didn't get that was satirical. So then I get these statements like, how could you say that about old people? You're not going to feel that way when you... And I'm like, okay, all right, you clearly don't get what I do, so just... And I have to let it go. So.
Wonderful. We're going to go back to the interwebs right now. Sprite Shadow, lovely name, in the Ustream chat asked, do you anticipate that the story will read differently in areas where gay marriage is legal versus where it isn't? And did that influence the writing at all?
I don't think it did, because we sort of were starting from this place where they are, as you just saw in episode 1, they are in Las Vegas celebrating the passage of a federal gay marriage law, federal marriage equality law. So we start in that place where we're assuming it's universal. So but maybe we were fueled by extra venom because we live in California where it's not legal? I don't know.
Prop 8.
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, I think that to have had it in the script would have required promoting an agenda of some kind, and we really didn't. I mean, we set it in a world where, okay, they just passed a law, gay marriage is now legal, and now what? You know, I don't think that we considered how it would play in different markets.
Yeah, no, we really didn't. We were just sort of going like, let's see, like I said, let's make this in a world that makes sense. And you know, we wanted the scene to be in Vegas, so we had to have Nevada consider. So it really was sort of practical considerations.
Yeah, I think that if we had considered it from that point of view, that it would have gotten probably too preachy to consider all the different angles that we needed to address, you know what I mean?
And it limits your creativity as well. I mean, you really like narrows down, you know, how we're gonna, if the intent is straight up marriage equality from the beginning, then it just really narrows where you can go with it. And some of the funniest moments could have been missed because of the limited view.
Yeah, I think the more effective way to make a case for marriage equality is just to educate people. Ugh, that sounds preachy. It's to just show people, two people in love, and let people draw their own conclusions. Should they be able to marry or not?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wonderful. Well, we have another video call from Skype.
Yay,
Let's
these are fun.
go there.
These are cool.
You are live on Skype.
Hello.
Oh, you have to turn your
We're in New Zealand.
Hey. Oh, we can hear him.
Got our veils and our t-shirts on.
Hey, what'd you think? What'd you think of the episode?
We loved it.
Yeah?
So cool. It was awesome. It was so funny.
Oh,
Where's Alessandra?
Alessandra could not be with us tonight. She's busy working, but I'm sure she'd want to say hi.
Can we say what she's doing?
I don't know what she's doing.
She's on American Horror Story.
Yeah, she's doing Ryan Murphy's show.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hope we're allowed to say that because we just did.
Where are you calling from?
We're in New Zealand.
Whoa! That's so cool!
That's fantastic.
New Zealand! Wow!
we have the day off today because we had to say we had a wedding to attend.
Fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Wow, what's your names?
AJ and Gina.
Hi,
Nice
girls.
to meet you. Do you guys have a question?
Yeah, well, apart from with Alessandra. We wanted to ask Cheeks, it's kind of unrelated, but we wanted to say if you weren't doing entertainment or videos, what would you be doing?
I don't know. That's really hard for me. Maybe like design or, yeah, maybe design or maybe some kind of publicity. I don't know. I can't imagine doing anything else, honestly, but something creative for sure. I like domestic things so much that I just keep coming back to the house. Maybe I'd help people feng shui or something. I don't know.
Cool. Oh, well, congrats on the series, and we can't wait to see the rest.
Thank
We're
you.
excited.
What time is it there?
Great.
I want to know what time it is in New Zealand.
It's about 2:10 in the afternoon on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
So cool.
Wow.
That's
Thank
so
you
cool.
so much
Thank
for
you.
calling in. You ladies are fantastic.
We love you. Bye.
Wow, amazing.
Great. Did you hear the New Zealand accent? They said weddings.
Weddings.
Weddings. It's so cute.
For sure.
It's not Australian. Pacific New Zealand. That's great. That's great stuff.
We're now going to go to Twitter with another one of our amazing Twitter fans, X of 1013.
Oh, I know X of 1013. X of 1013 has been very supportive.
A very supportive. Will Cheeks and X of 1013 asked, will Cheeks and Brady be throwing a wedding reception? And if so, what's the theme?
Well, I just have to say that I've seen that name for a really long time. She's awesome, and I always thought it was Zoff. And now I'm reading it X of. And you know, you can look at something for a long time and never realize.
We don't have a wedding reception in the show, but we certainly could if we did it later. What do you think of for a theme? I had when I was a kid, I liked themed birthday parties, and I had one with a theme of lemons, and one with a theme of watermelons.
Lemons? You had a lemon-themed party? As a child?
I think it'd be something incredibly romantic, like romances from the past, like Romeo and Juliet kind of theme,
something
or
with
something
some
over
costume.
Really?
Yeah. Something classic yet over the
Sounds like a
top.
prom to me.
Definitely does. Definitely does.
This is exactly the kind of dialogue you would script, by the way, for these two. If I were,
we'd have a whole episode just on planning it, and then you would never see the reception. You would just see us planning it.
I would want to do something really kooky, like, well, I love Tim Burton themed things. I've always
like
said I want to do a Tim Burton wedding.
A zombie reception?
Oh, zombies are a little done. So I'm a little tired of zombies. Maybe like sci-fi.
Ooh, robots
like
and
ray guns and robots. And,
that's nice.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, you want to do the great loves of the past?
I kind of do.
Okay, we'll do that.
You know what's so funny is that's totally how I would have scripted that the other way around. I would have made Brady being like, I want a ray gun. And Cheeks going like, I want to be Romeo and Juliet.
We're just defying gender roles. We're completely subversive in that way.
That's true.
Cheeks, incidentally, is also the one who can hook up all the electronics. Brady has no idea.
True.
Do you want to do that?
I'll give him that. You can have that one.
That actually.
And you cook, right?
I cook.
He puts the dinner on the table.
I cook.
And he knows his place in the kitchen.
See, it's bending all over the place. The gender line, blending.
I love it. All right, we're going to take another question from the chat room. Beth412 asked, did ad-lib moments make it into the episode or perhaps the season at all, or did you stay on script the whole time?
These guys are really good at being word perfect on the script and making it sound ad-libbed. There were a couple jokes we wrote on stage
Yeah, there were some floor
ran
pitches,
into
yeah.
you. Yeah, floor pitches, yes. But I don't remember much ad-libbing other than maybe just like an oh or a little exclamation.
Yeah, anything that we came up with.
We pitched prior.
Yeah, got pitched, and if we changed something, it was pitched 10 minutes ahead of time, and
I mean,
and we knew that was the change.
With that sort of thing, it's the only thing really is stick to the lines, but the behavior can inspire something else. So I mean, that can always create some other joke in itself.
Yeah, there were lots and lots of just reactions and moments between you two, and a lot of interaction with props and stuff that you guys just found in the moment. That's fantastic.
I want to film it again. It was so much fun.
It was so much fun.
All right, we have another Ustream caller, I believe, from Vampy Vet. Hello, good evening to you, good lady. What do you feel is the biggest challenge in presenting a show with this concept into such a mixed audience? Because as we have discussed, there is going to be crossover appeal. So what do you think about that?
The biggest challenge is preconceptions that people think that they won't like it. People may think they won't like it, and then it's just getting them to check it out and realize that it's good.
No, we just had a Q&A a couple nights ago here in Hollywood at Meltdown Comics, and from what I could gather, 90% of the audience was heterosexual.
Well,
Did you guys notice that? Because I feel like I know. I feel like I
Pick
noticed.
up a vibe there.
I picked up a vibe that I didn't feel like
you were asking, weren't you?
I was not looking for a date. I was not looking for a
Right down the
date.
line.
I think that it is a misconception that, well, first of all, I don't think it's a gay-themed show. I think that it has gay characters. I think it's a misconception that heterosexual people are not interested in content with gay people, or that because gay people are in it, it has some sort of niche-only place. And to what you were saying, I don't really think the challenge is on us. The challenge is not it's so challenging to present this. I think the challenge is the preconceptions of people, and do I want to watch this not only from heterosexual people who might not immediately be interested in something they think is all about being gay, but also from the gay community who might look at it and say, well, that's not the kind of gay I am, so this doesn't represent me, so I don't like this. I think that those are the challenges that we face. But I think that there are enough people out there that will recognize what we're doing and what we're saying, and that at the end of the day, it's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really all there is to it. So if you like to laugh and you can put everything else like on the shelf and say, hey, I'm going to laugh at this because it's funny, then there's no challenge at all.
Speaking of laughter, can we talk a little bit about Alessandra Torresani, who's not here tonight, in the character of Haley? Because I feel like she, for me, is going to, definitely take over at least half of where the laughs are going to come from. Would we agree to that in terms of?
She'll take over a third.
A third.
There's three of us here.
Okay, all right. Only a third.
Maybe you
you identify with her. That's why you think she'll be funny. No, she's hilarious. She's like she's Karen Walker from Will and Grace, but like in college before she's jaded and before she's had maybe one too many pills. But she's Karen Walker.
Yeah, she's hilarious. I had no idea how funny Alessandra is. She was our lead on Caprica. She was the girl with the dark hair and the robot, and she was the one with the apple and the poster. And so people know her from this dark role, and I didn't even realize how really, really funny she is. Like she tries very hard to steal some scenes in this, but I think the guys hold their own.
Well, one time I was being very unprofessional and allowing the giggles to take over because she has this hilarious line, and I couldn't keep it together. I had to like go cross-eyed looking at her forehead just so I could get through it, and it was just it's unprofessional, but it was just so, she is funny.
Maybe we count your laughter in that scene as one of those ad-libs people were asking about.
Brilliant.
You ad-libbed some uncontrolled, smothered laughter.
There we go. Exactly.
One of the lines I think made everybody bust up was you taste like.
Ooh, I say we don't reveal that line yet.
Oh, sorry. Never mind. You haven't seen that, and either have I. Moving on. Thank you. There was a great line that will be revealed in later episodes. We have another video Skype call. Let's go there now. Good evening. You are on the World of Husbands series at Streamin Garage, streaming live from downtown Van Nuys. Is that where we are?
All right.
Hey,
There she is. Hello.
Hi.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi, sorry about that. My camera's frozen on this end. I have a question for all three of you, but I think all three of you are probably going to have slightly different answers. Because I know, Jeff, you've done True Blood, and Jane, you're more of a writer, and Cheeks, I know you just did Torchwood. Were there any big differences between shooting this as a web series and shooting just a standard television episode that you know is going to hit TV screens right off? And if there were, what were they?
There were similarities and differences. I mean, we had cameras and monitors that I was looking into a monitor just like I would on a real, and I had, if I wanted to suggest something to the actors, I would talk to the director. That was all very familiar. The thing that was different was sort of
smaller.
It was, yeah, everything just got littler.
The scale you would find.
And you don't run from security guards when you're doing a big TV show. You don't have airplanes and kitty cats meowing.
You have airplanes.
You do have airplanes.
Yeah. But what really made it feel different to me was the sense that we were all friends, and that there was no pressure from above. I, in particular, wasn't ever thinking about, like, do I have to second guess someone? What does the showrunner want? What does the studio want? What does the network want? I could just say, here's what I want, and make it the heck happen. That was cool.
On the spot.
Yeah.
Like, make changes right then and there.
Yeah, and you guys could too. You could say, I really wanted to try this, and you had total freedom to try stuff.
Well, yeah, and the friendly vibe. I mean, a lot of the times on a set, you sort of get this weird animosity from people that might have a smaller role or, you know, would love to be in the position that you're in, and there's sort of this weird actor-y salivating kind of a thing happening, and that wasn't at all. I mean, yeah, we were all friends and liked each other, and that's not always the case.
No salivating allowed.
Okay, we have a few.
Thank you very much for your question.
Thank you.
Yeah, see you later. Keep watching.
Woo!
Yay.
Wonderful. We're going to take 2 or 3 more questions as we get going here for the evening. Emily Sudam. Emily Sudam. Great name. Is in the chat room asked, how different is Husbands from what was originally conceived?
Quite different. The very original concept was more ab-fab. It was Cheeks and Haley.
Interestingly enough, and I remembered this on the way over here actually, the concept of that show was that Cheeks and Haley, who was still named Haley, were growing up together. Right. And that's where we came out of, because it was, they woke up hungover in a bathroom, and they decided it was time to get their lives together and to sober up and start being healthy. And that's where we came up with the concept of growing up together. And from growing up together, it was like, wait, a couple, that's who grows up together. So
that's right. The heart of it kind of did survive.
Yeah, so it's different in some ways, but it did initially start with Haley looking in the toilet and Cheeks in the tub, and yeah.
I mean, it sort of shows, like, if you've got a good idea, like if you aspiring young writers out there, if you've got an idea that won't let you alone, that's keeping you awake at night, like I just feel like there is something there, keep playing with it, because there probably is something at the heart of that idea. The thing that first drew you to that idea is probably good, and you should cultivate it and play with it. And maybe you have to change some major element of it, but the heart, the theme, is probably really good. A lot of times writers end up telling the same story over and over and over throughout their career. There's some story, like Joss often tells the story of, like, you make your own family. You find the people who you need to have around you to make your own family, and that's a story that means a lot to him. It's a story he will retell. This is a story that stuck with us at its heart.
Emika SF on Twitter asked, could you share any ideas that you might have to expand the universe if the series is picked up? Sounds like a foreshadowing.
The universe at large?
The universe of our show?
The universe of the world of
I expand the universe every day.
Expand the universe. That just takes a lot of love and happiness and joy and light and just be happy.
We do have ideas.
We do.
Yeah, top two.
Oh,
yeah.
Tell them about, this is interesting. So apparently baseball wives have a culture. They have a whole culture around, you know, how much each of their baseball husbands makes, and there's a hierarchy, and you have to be friends with all of them. So, I mean, as you continue to watch the episodes, think about having Cheeks in a baseball stadium, like woo-hooing his baseball husband on first base, and having to deal with the other baseball wives. I mean, that's going to be hilarious.
What has the feedback been from professional baseball? Has there been any? Are they familiar? Word's getting out there, I'm sure.
We haven't heard anything from professional baseball. Probably best that we don't. But I have managed to have some interaction with someone with information about the baseball wife culture. So so we are doing some preliminary research, because I think in terms of expanding the universe, that's definitely a place we'd want to go.
If the show continues, I definitely think it will be brought to many people's attention, because being an out pro player of any sport is a big new thing as well.
There's never been an out baseball player who's out while he's playing.
And it's about time, because I have slept with plenty of baseball players. So it's not like they're not out there.
That's how we met originally. It was just, wasn't the casting. That we brought me in.
We were actually cruising the same locker room.
Oh, really? So typecasting still exists in Hollywood. Is what we're saying? Good to know. Sparkle Sharper on Twitter asked, does Sean Hemeon have any dancing skills? Just in case a musical episode is in the show's future, she wants to know.
I think you could probably get down.
I could shake it a little bit. I mean, yeah, I had my fun days in the club. I could hang with him. If you've seen his music video, I could hang with him. Yeah, I could keep up.
That sort of,
What?
That sort of read as like you're going like, well, have you seen what he can do? I can keep up with that. But
that's our relationship. That's just the way it goes. So very naturally, it definitely would.
I could see an episode in a club, and I can see a musical episode. I could see Cheeks writing the music.
It would be like a music video.
That's a good idea.
An episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. We should do a music video that just ties in with the show, whether or not we use it in an episode.
Yeah, I have a whole plan for that too. But that's something where.
And Haley was Alessandra was a dancer for years too, so she'll be right there.
Oh, she's all about it. Yeah, I mean, we loved karaoke. I mean, we'll get down with that. In fact, that's where that episode starts, is in a karaoke club, and then maybe somehow we slip into some weird alternate reality. Maybe somebody puts something in our drinks. Depends on what network.
Do you also sing? Is that a hidden talent of yours as well?
It might be a hidden talent. It might be down there somewhere. I can carry a note. I mean, I've been taught many songs, and so I can carry a note.
What are your favorites?
Oh, I don't know. Somewhere over the rainbow.
Okay, good. So you're the Judy Garland fan. I would have thought it would. I would have thought it would have been. I thought it would have been. I thought it again. Here we go.
Beastie Boys. I'd be singing "So What You Want" is what I'd be singing.
Thank you.
Subvert expectations.
Exactly.
No, I mean I grew up on Pearl Jam and Chili Peppers and Beastie. I mean, yeah. There, I have to keep my masculinity back in there.
He loves Judy. Go see what the CD in his car is right now.
Phoenix Gal 69 on Twitter asks, for both Sean and Cheeks, what has been your most challenging acting role? thus far in your careers?
Sorry.
No, I thought you were stuck.
What has been my most challenge? No, they're all challenging in their own way. So it's like I bring on challenging. That's like what I go for and what I bring it on.
Challenge.
You know?
You're currently in a music video that I've seen out there.
So yes.
And you're kissing a girl.
So you want some nice contrast? You want some nice contrast to what the husband's is. Go to youtube.com/Natasha Sodek, Soudek, and I just shot a music video where, well, you be the judge of it. Go check it out, and you'll see that.
I think you kissed that girl very pleasantly.
Well, okay. So yeah, that wasn't challenging. I can get down. Just you be the judge of that.
I think for me, my most challenging role was probably this one because it was a character that I've played for a couple of years that is, I've never given him any emotional backbone. It's always been very flighty and superficial and silly. And suddenly, we had to have these moments of realism where I was having to be emotionally authentic about something. And so finding that without it being too black and white, like here I am being silly and here I am being honest, how does he do that? How do you write that? How does that come out in your performance? That was a big challenge for me.
Thank you for the question.
We're going to go back to the chat room. Annabelle Arubicent asked Jane and Cheeks, did you, am I saying that wrong? Arubicent?
Yes, Arabescent.
Arabescent. Yes. We've had a lot of sparkles out there in Twitter tonight, don't we? A lot of these feeling just stars everywhere in the Twitter sphere. I love it. She asked Jane and Cheeks, did you guys ever go through writer's block while writing the script? And if so, what do you get back, what do you do to get back into the flow?
Not only was there no writer's block, but we talked about this idea for the script over dinner. And when did you email me a finished script?
It's like 4 a.m.
That night.
Following, yeah.
That night he sent me a script.
I went home and was just like,
yeah, he wrote it incredibly fast. I rewrote it, you rewrote it, blah, 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 blah. But no writer's block. You will find, actually, if you ever get a professional writing job, the thing that cures a writer's block is a deadline.
Yeah. I personally don't really understand writer's block because you can be writing something, even if it's no good. You know what I mean? Even if you don't like it the next day, even if it's not in line for what you want to be, you can write. Your fingers work. So just write. I feel like that's sort of the same way you write.
Well, I think that what people often are calling writer's block is that difficulty of getting over that inertia to like start writing. And that's what my writing sprints are for, is like you don't have to commit to be writing for the afternoon or the day or the week. You just have to commit to write for an hour or even a half hour. And I do writing sprints at Jane Espenson where I just go like, okay, we're just going to write for the next hour. And if you just start without thinking and you're writing for an hour, now you're doing it, and writer's block gone.
And it doesn't have to be brilliant. Just write.
Just write.
Fabulous. We'll take a few more questions. Emily Sudam has a follow-up question. Will these episodes eventually be put together for a DVD?
Good question.
I would love that.
Yeah, I mean, that's very possible. It's more likely than not. I think we're still a little too far away from what we will ultimately be doing to determine that, but I think it's probable.
Okay. Fantastic. And we have another question coming up as well. This one from Deb Ohio Lady in the chat room asks, do you hope to use this to change laws for marriage equality?
Oh, that's putting an awful lot on our little show. But wouldn't it be nice?
We're going to take that DVD and go to the courthouse.
Look, it works.
Well, I think that, she hits an interesting point, which is that social change, I think, is always brought about by the arts and through entertainment. And so I think in that way we are making our contribution, sure. Absolutely, it raises awareness and it shows a different sort of side for maybe people who don't know any gay people or who think they know, what it's all about.
Yeah, you can do marches, you can do petitions, you can do rallies, and it's great catharsis. It puts a great awareness out. But as you're saying, to get into the heartland of America, sometimes it's something like TV, which is why Will and Grace was so huge, because they just focused on being funny. And suddenly people realize they're laughing, and they're watching a show about gay people, and that just happens to be the byproduct of that. So if that's a byproduct of it, Fantastic.
Oh my God.
All the better.
If we help to change the world.
Anything is possible in this
Well, we
age.
can't do that alone. In order to
Right.
help change the world, every single person watching has to be sharing, because as much as you might see it and like it, we can only get it to so many people. So if you absolutely want to do something incredibly active and incredibly real in facilitating that change with us, then you would need to share husbands with every single person you know.
Very well.
And yeah, very well put. And not only for that purpose, but if you want to see more husbands, we want to be able to point at it and say, look, there is an audience ready for this, so we need there to be an audience ready for it. So if you can help us demonstrate that this should go on by helping us demonstrate that there's an audience for it.
Fantastic. We're going to go back to the chat room. Hello, I am Silver. Hello, I am Gold. One is Silver and the other is Gold. Make new friends. Okay, bad joke. Hello, I am Silver. And the chat room asked, are there any other good little anecdotes from the filming process you'd like to share?
I learned that you could buy breakfast burritos at Taco Bell at 6 in the morning. If you just drive up and say, I need 20 breakfast burritos because I want to bring them to the film crew, you could sit there in the drive-thru lane and they make you 20 breakfast burritos. And I thought that was really cool.
Well, see, I knew that, but it was from still being awake at 6:30 a.m. and ordering 20 breakfast burritos for myself.
We got to live on the set, actually.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
so fun.
We spent the weekend because we shot in a hotel for the Las Vegas scenes, and we didn't leave. We went in Friday and we came out Sunday night, but we never left. We ordered room service the whole weekend.
Ordered room
Thank you,
service.
husbands.
Sat in bed, watched Torchwood.
Watched his episode of Torchwood.
And then yeah, like 6 o'clock in the morning, I'd hear people filtering in, and I'd be like, well, I guess it's time to get up. And the crew would be like, what, did you sleep here? And I'd be like, mm-hmm. And I'd shut a door so I could take a shower.
And we did all the interviews from the bed, after takes.
That was
everything.
great, man. That was such a way to shoot, let me tell you.
Just like a husband's cocoon for the weekend.
You don't have to go anywhere.
Well, it's obvious that you guys have great chemistry, I mean, on and off the set, so it's really cool that you got to spend a slumber party.
Slumber party.
A little slumber party camp on set. All right, we're going to go back to Twitter. Ashley Cleggs asked, this one's for Cheeks, was it intimidating when you realized you wanted this to be a full show rather than just a one-off YouTube video? Interesting. This is quite a departure.
Does anything intimidate Mr. Cheeks over here?
Not that. Not that. No, that wasn't intimidating.
You knew you could just bust them out.
No, and well, yes, but I don't think about the weight of things, and I think that's how I can do what I do. Is I don't know any better. That's my motto for life, is just don't know any better, and there's nothing to be afraid of. In fact, it didn't really hit me until we were at Comic-Con and Jane was on a panel, and all these other powerhouse writers and producers she's on this panel with were clearly in your presence, and all of a sudden I was like, wow, my name is on a script with Jane Espenson, and I sort of had this moment of oh crap, and it hadn't occurred to me until a month and a half later, because I was just okay, we're writing a script, that's what we're doing, and I don't get intimidated. But then when you stop to think about it, oh crap, all right, there's something to be intimidated about here. So I don't entertain those notions.
I'm not that intimidating.
I'm clearly failing to be intimidating.
It's a thing.
That's good.
I've never, just like when I moved to LA, people kept saying, I didn't know anyone and I was 18, and people kept saying, oh, that's so brave, and you must have been so, and I was just like, what? No, it's not. It's just what you do. So don't know any better, and you can't afford the luxury of a negative thought if you want to make anything happen.
Definitely. One final question from Twitter. Sylvain, I'm sorry, not from Twitter, from the chat room. Hello, lovely chat room. Hope you're having a good time tonight. Aside from public perception, what challenges do you think are specific to gay marriages?
Oh, well, we've come up with some. For instance, if someone was flirting with Brady, they could also be flirting with Cheeks. And I mean, that's one that's very specific.
Also, maybe clothing?
Oh, yes. They could wear the same clothing, although these guys are not.
Baggy's in. I can take one of his shirts and belt it and make it look like all hobo chic. But he doesn't have the same luxury.
But yeah, I mean, if you just think about it, you can sort of come up with like what challenges would be unique. That having children would be a much huger discussion because it would just involve other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing is that a lot of times what I have experienced is that men know how to treat women very well from society, so gay men are very close and very good to women, but a lot of the time men don't really understand how to treat another man, and how do you show affection toward a man without emasculating him, or how do you know what they want even though it's not exactly the way you might operate, and you think that's something that's inherently masculine, like a guy doesn't want to have the conversation about romance, but maybe a particular guy does. And so there are some things that I think are inherent about gender that are understood, and other things are kind of an enigma. And nobody really, there aren't a whole lot of sources of information for, if you're a man, this is how to have a relationship with another man. And look at how many books there are on dating and relationships for straight people. So I think that those sort of issues are unique.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, this has been such a lovely chat, you guys.
Looks like we have one more.
One more very important question. Just kidding. We are taking one more question. We're not wrapping it up quite yet. Christy G428 and Eyes Wide Shut with X's in between. Oh, Eyes Wide Shut. Eyes Wide Shut on Twitter asks, what can we do as fans to make husbands visible to the networks? People who might pick it up.
Get those views up. So let everyone tweet it, link it, share it, go to your local entertainment.
Make it viral.
Yeah, make it viral. But yeah, maybe you, if for instance, if you work with like your local gay and lesbian organization, maybe they should put it in their newsletter to tell people to watch. Anything you can do to reach out.
If you can think of an outlet that you are close to that will have a much bigger reach than you, then that helps. And of course your own network of people that you know, in addition to signing up for the Husbands newsletter, which is at husbandstheseries.com. And if you sign up for that newsletter, we will be sending out information on how you can best do that. And also following me on Twitter, I will be sending out a bunch of different ways and tips as we move through the next few weeks and we release each episode that will help. But sharing is really the most important part, and not just sharing, but encouraging other people to share.
Sharing is caring.
And as always, an engaged audience to a network, an engaged audience is more important than a big audience. So while we want to hit more and more people with more and more views, commenting, rating, favoriting, interacting on those videos is really the most important way to do that.
Definitely.
Well put.
Yeah, nicely done.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Cheeks. Thank you, Sean. Thank you to all the fans. Thank you to the wonderful crew who's here tonight, here at Streamin Garage. Helena, Jenna, Travis, Elaine, Mike, Corey, Barry, and Jim. We are so excited to share the world premiere of Husbands, the series with you. You, again, can follow everything related to Husbands, the series at Team Husbands. And you can also like us on Facebook. It's www.facebook.com/Husbands the series to find out everything there if you're more of a Facebook person rather than a Twitter person. What else? All of our episodes will also be going live. The episodes of the show, you can find them where? On Blip TV?
Blip TV.
Husbandstheseries.com. And also your YouTube channel.
My YouTube channel, Go Cheeks Go, which if you haven't subscribed to, subscribe to, so that way when one does go live, you'll be notified immediately. It'll go right to your inbox.
And what is the tentative release schedule for this? Or is there a release schedule?
Tuesdays and Thursdays. New episodes will go up.
Okay, and is it Tuesdays and Thursdays throughout the whole run, or does that change at any point?
We are doing Tuesdays and Thursdays up until around episode 7 or 8, at which point we'll probably make the pilot version available on iTunes so that you can see them all at once. And after that, we will most likely be releasing episodes once a week.
Wonderful, wonderful.
But yeah, if you want to download the pilot length at that point, you can see them all before waiting.
Wonderful. Another way you can show your love to the interwebs at large and people working in online video is to follow the lovely people who hosted us tonight here at Streamin Garage. You can follow them on Twitter at, thank you so much, Streamin Garage. That's at Streamin Garage. And also the lovely people at New Tech TriCaster for tonight's broadcast from Streamin Garage. Their Twitter handle is at NewTech? At NewTech Inc., NEWTEKINC, who have provided all the lovely technical support to make this live event possible. Thank you so much, and we will see you at husbandsaseries.com.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.